Hi guys, welcome to our first session for week 4. It is our final week. What Design is coming to a close. I hope you guys have really enjoyed Muse. It's an awesome program, and I hope that you continue to improve your portfolio websites. At this point, you all have done an excellent job for a starter website. So keep working on this website as you learn more techniques through your creative classes to improve it, make it better. That way when you graduate, this website is ready to go online and it's going to stand out and show who you are as a designer. We are going to go through the announcements, the week 4 overview, the week 4 final assessment overview, and then we're going to get started on the demo for doing your metadata for each page. Our next lecture will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Be sure to visit the SSC if you need help. Christy has posted her hours in the course announcements. This is the last week, so please get everything wrapped up and submitted ASAP from previous weeks if you are missing discussion posts. I opened all of the discussions. You can go in and post your initial point and get that 48 points. It is way better than having 0 points for that discussion. The overview this week, it is our final week. You're going to finish up those websites, and any feedback I gave you from last week, you're going to make those improvements and adjustments and go through it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure everything is ready to publish. You're going to create a responsive website for mobile devices and publish the website live. Your final assessment, you're going to make responsive and publish it. That's what you're doing this week. And then you have your career integration quiz. Don't forget to take that. A couple months ago, guys, I had a student that if they had taken that career integration quiz and gotten that 15 points, they would have passed the class. They didn't take it and ended up failing the class. Take that career integration quiz. It's only 3 questions, and that 15 points can make a big difference in your grade. All right, guys, everybody pat yourself on the back. You've done an awesome job. You've stuck with it this mod, gotten your work turned in, and produced some websites that look really great that you can improve on so that by the time you graduate, they're awesome. Don't forget to do any modifications to your copy, your graphics, layout, or anything else from my critique feedback from last week. Also go through your site and make sure you have added alt tags, title tags, descriptions, that sort of thing. When all of the above is done, you'll publish your site live on the internet with Business Catalyst. Or if you have your own domain and server, you can upload to your own domain. Otherwise, you're going to upload to Business Catalyst. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. And your website will be live. And the policy with a Business Catalyst is they say 30 days. I've had a website up on Business Catalyst that a client proofed that is still there, and it's been well over 60 days. But minimum amount of time, it will be there for 30 days. Assignment instructions. Working in the same document you used in week 3, make any updates per my feedback. Then you're going to create your breakpoints so that your website looks good on the tablet and cell phone views. You're going to make sure all of your images have alt tags. You're going to make sure all your pages have titles and descriptions. You're going to publish your site. And after publishing your site, you're going to test your contact form to make sure it's working. I will be sending out emails starting from the time you turn it in until Saturday, sometime during the night. So make sure when you get up first thing Sunday morning, check your email for my email from your contact form. It's worth 10 points, and you have to reply to that email and let me know you received it. Then you're going to submit your URL to your live website, and you're also going to zip your published Muse files. All right, guys, let's get started. Let's hop over to Muse. And today we are going to start working on getting all of your metadata and going through and doing a checklist. Make sure you've covered everything and everything looks good. And adding all your alt tags and that sort of thing. We're going to start with our master page. You're going to go down to your master page and hover over it and right click. You're going to go into page properties. And you see this little metadata section right here. You're going to click on it. Now, this asks you for page title prefixes. If you've paid attention over the last year or so, you've seen the tabs on the top of your internet browsers, and they usually have words up there. And they've changed and gotten longer. It's no longer just home or contact or services. Usually there's a company name and then something after it. This is where you can add your company name or your name. In this case, I'm going to add my name, and I'm going to put a colon between and hit OK. It will automatically add that to all of my pages. So then I'm going to go up and hover over my home page. Right click, page properties. Now this is where you do your descriptions, your keywords, that sort of thing. So this is my home page. Description. I'm just going to do a small description. This description is what you would see, you know, when you go to Google and you search something, you get the blue words, it's the link, and then right underneath that, you get a small description. That's what this is. And then keywords. Take those from your home page. I'm going to hit OK here for just a second. Go into my home page. And some keywords we're going to take from this web page. Definitely going to use print design, apparel, web design. Those are definitely going to be in my keywords. And I'm going to use my name. So we'll go back to my plan view, hit page properties again, and add my keywords in here. And then I'm going to click on my options. Page name, home, that's fine. Now, I could change this because right now it's going to come up and it's going to say Misty Porch, home. I want to change it for my home page. So I'm going to make this say, I'm going to uncheck same as page name and change the title. And let's do graphic design portfolio. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to open my portfolio page and take a look at this. I'm missing my heading on this page. back to my plan view, right click, page properties, metadata. This report is recent graphic and web design work. Keywords. Now I'm going to fill this page with keywords and things that I actually do. Business cards, logos, hats, invitations, postcards, posters, and then I'm going to go to options, and I'm going to change my title on this page too. To recent design work. And hit OK. And my about page. I'm going to open my about page, and I'm going to take this first little bit of this paragraph and copy it. Go back to my plan view. Right click, page properties, metadata. I'm going to paste this. And keywords, I'm going to list my name and designer. Options. And my contact page. My metadata. I'm going to put my phone number in here. And keywords for this page. I'm going to use the area in which I service. Just like that. And that looks good. Now more for my privacy policy. I'm going to copy. If you have a long privacy policy, just copy the first couple of lines. If you have a short one, copy it all. And page properties. I'm going to change the title to just privacy policy. Paste that in my descriptions. And keyword, I'm going to just use privacy on that as that keyword. And hit OK. Now then, my home page is already open. You're going to open that home page, go into preview. This is the first way you're going to check it. Can you add both what? Yes, I'm going to, well, I added my company name. Yes, you could add your name and company name. You could add both. Yes, you could absolutely do that. So once you've pulled it up in your preview, guys, you're going to check each page. If you have a slideshow on that page, make sure the slideshow is working. And then just simply visually scan it. Make sure everything looks aligned. There's not anything that looks funny or out of place. And then make sure your navigation button marks. Go through each page and look through it and make sure nothing looks odd and that everything's working. Test out your slideshows or your instant zooms if you're using them. And make sure all of them work and come up the way they're supposed to. Check out your about page, read your bio, proof it one more time just to make sure everything's correct and that you haven't forgotten something or anything like that. And then your contact page. Everything looks good. So you're going to go close your preview. You're going to go back to your plan view and go to File. And you're going to preview site in browser. This is going to actually open the site into your web browser. Remember, the built-in browser in Muse is not the exact same as your web browser. So you need to be sure you preview it in your actual browser and double check, make sure everything's working, make sure your titles on your tabs look correct. And you can see on every single one of my tabs, it's going to say Misty Porch, colon, and then it's going to say whatever that page is. So in this case, the home page says Graphic Design Portfolio. If I click on my portfolio page, it says Misty Porch, Recent Work, Recent Designs. Again, make sure things are working. And make sure your titles are changing. Once it's actually live, you can't test the contact page from your browser when just previewing it. You can't test it until it's actually uploaded to like Business Catalyst. And then yes, you're going to test it. I will also be testing it. 10 points of your grade is responding to the email I send you. And you guys will have till about 1 or 2 o'clock on Sunday to respond to that email. And then I will be submitting final grades. So be sure you're checking your email early Sunday. My contact page, come on. If you're having internet issue, guys, it may take your page a little longer to upload. I have a Mac update that needs to be done, and it's affecting my internet. It's making my browsers a little crazy. Go back to Muse just a second here. Open my contact page. There it is. Make sure everything looks good on that page. If you're using the Google Map, make sure it moves around like it's supposed to. Make sure you can click inside your boxes and that everything's working and they're clickable, that sort of thing. So once you've tested it and everything comes out good, you're ready to start on your actual responsiveness. I'm going to close all of these pages. You're going to start making everything responsive. Actually, let's not go there yet. Then you need to go back and make sure all of your images have alt tags. You're going to start with your master page. Let's go ahead and complete all of your SEO first. You're going to click on every image on the page. You're going to click on it and then right click, and you're going to go to Edit Image Properties. There should be alt text on every single image, graphic, icon, anything like that. On my logo, I'm just going to do Misty Forge logo. I'm also going to add a tooltip because my logo is linked to my home page, so that anytime they click on my logo, it will automatically take them back to my home page. So I'm going to add a tooltip that says click to go to, I don't want to do this, home page link. And hit OK. And do your social media icons. Don't forget about those. Image properties, Facebook icon. And I'm going to do link to Facebook. You don't have to do a tooltip on all of your images, but any icons or graphics that link to something else in your website or to a third-party website like Facebook, LinkedIn, that sort of thing, add that tooltip. It's just really good for SEO. So that's everything on my master page that needed some sort of alternative text or tooltip. I'm going to do the same thing for my home page. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to start doing the SEO here. Now, my slideshow, if I double click, can go edit image properties. And I'm going to click on each one of my icons down here. These are all grouped, it looks like. So I need to fix that object. Ungroup. Click on just my image. Edit image properties and print design image. And that does it for all the SEO on that page. Now, those of you that have banners like I do, you're going to, in order to get the SEO for all of your images, you're going to have to go in and turn on your previous and next button. And then you're going to have to find them. View. Okay, there is one of them. There's the other. Bring it up here so I can get to it. Move this back up. Go. Okay, so now I want to do my web design one. properties, alt text. Okay, now that I've done all of that, I can go in and turn back off this next and previous button. And that does it for everything on my home page. Just gonna go to your next page. And you're gonna do the same thing to all of these. You're going to have to double click them. Let's see if Instant Zoom will let you do it. Instant Zoom may not let you actually do your image properties. Let's see. If you're using the Instant Zoom widget, you can no longer add in image properties. Make sure your keywords include everything on your portfolio, guys. So you don't have to do, I don't have anything else on my portfolio page except for those Instant Zooms. So no alt text there. My about page. And my Facebook is not working here. So I'm going to go into my widgets library and pull out this one. And put it here. Realign it like that. And that's all of the alt text on that one. And I don't have any graphics on my contact page, so it's good. I do have a graphic on my privacy policy page, though. So added that alt text. Now, my entire site has descriptions, keywords, page titles, and alt text on all of my images and graphics. That is your first step for this week. It's the first thing you're going to do. And then you're going to start on making your site responsive. You're going to start on your master page. View, page in window. You notice this purple bar right underneath your ruler bar. This is your responsive website bar. I'm going to right click on this purple bar, and I'm going to do add breakpoint. Your first breakpoint, flip width, your first breakpoint needs to be at 960. I'm gonna hit OK. This gives me a breakpoint at 960. And go into breakpoint properties, and I can set minimum width, minimum height, all of that. Breakpoint 960, minimum width. Actually, I want this to be, we're going to change this a little bit. Let's undo that. Let's start at the beginning, and I don't want to confuse you guys. It's my way of thinking. Right click on that purple bar, go to breakpoint properties. All of you guys should have a website that's at least 1,000 pixels. That's going to be your breakpoint width, whatever the maximum width of your website is. Your minimum width is going to be 960. You're going to hit OK. That does that. And then you're going to right click, add breakpoint. And now you need to add a breakpoint at 959. And then right click on that blue bar now and do breakpoint properties. And the minimum width should be 959. And your minimum width should be 720, which will cover your tablet. And then you're going to right click again and add breakpoint. And this time your breakpoint is going to be 320. You're going to right click, breakpoint properties. And this should say 719. Your minimum width should say 320. So now we know if you double click, if you double click on each section, it'll take you to that size. Desktop size is fine. So let's look at our 959 size. Well, we start running into a little bit of an issue here, don't we? We need to make some adjustments. My logo needs to be scooted over just a hair. My navigation bar, I'm going to scoot it over, and I'm also going to scale it back out. I want to make sure fingers can tap my buttons. I'm going to grab my social media icons and drag them over. My copyright statement, I'm going to make it bigger so everything's on one line. That size looks good. So now I'm going to go to 719. Make some small adjustments here. Again, I want to make sure that we don't have any issues clicking with the finger, so I'm going to spread those out again. My copyright statement needs to get bigger. My social media icons need to scoot over. And then we go to this 320. Oops. Now I know I made a breakpoint there. Doesn't look like it took. Thank you. Oh, I did this wrong. Okay, we're going to leave that. I'm going to go back to 720. Breakpoint properties. That looks okay. I need to get rid of this for just a second. Breakpoint properties. There it is. And let's make this 460. Okay. And add breakpoint. And I need a breakpoint at 320. There it is. Breakpoint properties. 459. There we go. Okay, so 719 is done. Now I need to work on the 320 size. I'm going to rearrange this page at this point altogether. I'm going to make it bigger. Grab my footer, drag it down here. Drag this down. My header is going to change sizes. Now, at this point, you could do your drop-down menu so that nothing has to change. I'm going to show you guys. You can either rearrange. Let me show you that first. You can rearrange your header so that you bring your navigation bar down below your logo instead of beside it, so that it's something like this. And reset your lines. Like that. Or you can do a responsive menu bar. So I'm going to undo, put everything back like it was. Now, if you want to use the responsive menu bar with your hamburger widget that I showed you could download, you're going to click on your navigation bar, you're going to right click, and the first thing you're going to do is hide and breakpoint. And then I'm going to go over to my widgets library. I need the composition blank widget right here. I'm going to drag it out. Now add it to my page for just a second. And I can get rid of these little thumbnails. I only need to keep one of them. So I'm going to delete all but one of them. There's that one. And then I have this. I'm going to make it smaller so it fits on my page. I'm going to make it small enough that it's going to fit beside my logo. That works. Grab my thumbnail, bring it up here. Now then, I'm going to go into my libraries because this is where my responsive hamburger widget is at. I have a widget saved, but I'm going to show you how to create your own. So if you downloaded the hamburger widget, you can use it. It's animated, so it will change when they roll over it, or you could make one yourself. It's not that hard to make a square with 3 lines in it. I'm going to use the animated one. I'm going to drag it out, and it's going to go inside this thumbnail. And now it tells you slice link 40, that's this. I can turn it down. Let me make it a little smaller. Gonna make my hamburger icon a little smaller there. Like that, and I want to change the color. I'm gonna turn it to gray, and I'm gonna turn my slices to white. And transition color, I'm gonna turn it pink and white. And then you've got all kinds of hover transitions. And you can play with those and decide which one you like, that sort of thing. I'm going to use the squeeze for right now. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange this in my box. I'm going to rearrange my thumbnail box. Like that. And I'm going to grab my thumbnail box. Come on. Turn the color off first of all. No fill. And no outline. Grab my thumbnail. And I'm going to put it right up here. Just clear all styling. And I'm going to grab back into my widgets library, to my menus, and this time I want a vertical menu. I'm going to drag it right inside that composition box. And then bring this composition box right down underneath my thumbnail. Double click it. Oops. Come on. Rearrange my drop down menu here. Not bad. I could probably make it even smaller. And make it drop down like that. And then I'm going to click my little blue circle. Position stacked. Show target on click. I'm going to do unroll over. Now I think I'll leave it on click. Hide target. On click. Autoplay. Enable swipe. Yes. Hide all initially. That looks pretty good. Now go into preview. And here's the thing about your preview. It's always going to come up in desktop view. I'm going to have to scale my muse down until I get to cell phone view, which is about right there. And then I'm going to test it out. That looks pretty good. And you can see the little animation I have going on there. So now with that done, you can see it's also showing up in my desktop view. I'm going to have to go back to my master page and go through each one of my views. Click on my 719 view. I'm simply going to click on this, right click, hide and breakpoint. 959, right click, hide and breakpoint into my desktop view. Right click, hide and breakpoint. Ew. That way it only shows up. Do I want it in this view? Yes, that's fine. It only shows up in my cell phone view, which is the small view. Now I need to finish fixing this view. And I'm going to have to make my social media icons just a little bit smaller. So they'll fit on here. Yep, that looks good. So that's my master page. So you need to break point at whatever your largest size is. One at 959, one at 719, one at 459, which goes down to 320. I'm going to close that. I'm going to open up my home page. You have to do breakpoints in every single page. You just start with your master page. And as you can see, it gives you these little white triangles all the way across that menu bar that weren't there before. That's because it's showing you where the breakpoints are that you made on your master page. So I want to go to this breakpoint. I'm going to double click that little white triangle and it tells me what that breakpoint is. Okay. I'm going to grab my little gray bar and I'm going to pull it down to that first white triangle so that I'm even with it. I'm going to hit my plus sign. I'm going to right click on it because you can see I'm off a little bit. That should actually say 959. And the minimum width should say Does anybody remember what the minimum width was supposed to be? So there's that one. So I look at this view. Well, you can see my navigation is perfect because I've already adjusted it on the master page. My banner still looks good. Everything still looks good at this size. I don't really need to make any adjustments here except for on this text box. So I want everything to be on that single line there. Other than that, everything still looks really good on this portion. So I'm going to go back out to my next white arrow. I'm going to double click it. If you double click it just right, it will automatically copy that breakpoint into this file. It can be tricky. So if you can't get it to automatically copy, just grab this gray slider and pull it over to where it needs to be. So now I have this breakpoint. Right click, breakpoint properties. And this should actually say 759. And this should say 420. So it didn't copy it exactly right. It looks like I must have moved my cursor. Come on, right there. There we go. This one, delete breakpoint. There we go. This is where I'm supposed to be. Now we start running into a little bit of an issue. I'm going to go ahead and spread this back out. I still think I can get 3 columns on here and it'll be fine. And I'm just going to make some small adjustments, make sure everything still looks good. My privacy policy down here, nope, it's not centered. So that's something I'll have to go back to my master pages and fix. So that does it for that size. So now I'm going to go up to this next white arrow and double click it. And it copied it right because it put me at 459. Right click, breakpoint properties. And this should say 320. Now we definitely have an issue. Services definitely is not working. So I'm going to go in and turn on my previous and my next. This is where I need to shrink my images. And my slideshow is going to be a pain. Yep. Okay. So if you can't get inside there to get your actual images, this is what you're going to do. Previous next. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to select this widget. Right click. I'm going to hide it in the breakpoint. I'm going to go over to my widgets library. And go to my slideshows. Find that basic slideshow. And I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to make it smaller. Size I need it to be. And folder. I'm going to go in and find those images. Right here. Come on, let me inside of it. Resize. Come, there it goes. And I'm going to scale this image down. I right-clicked and went to fitting. And actually, that's not what I went to. I right-clicked. Oh, come on. Now, well, let me undo that so I can show you guys what I clicked on. There we go. Right-clicked and went down to resize, and I chose none. And then I double-clicked on it, and it let me access my image. So now I'm going to just take this, and I'm going to scale it down to the size I want it. That. There's that one. Let's do my next one. That one. There's that one. Let's see if it'll resize in here. I'm gonna have to do those twice. Sorry, guys. Should come down like that. There we go. And there's this one. And then this one. There we go. And then I'm going to turn off my previous, next, caption, and counter. And then I need to work on these images. So I'm going to grab my print image. It's going to come up here. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to slide it right over here to the edge. Print design, I'm going to bring it up. Search it out. I'm going to bring my text box up. And stretch it out. Maybe make this image a little bit bigger. There's that one. Grab my web design and move it out of the way for a second. Oops. Too big. My apparel. Drop it right there. Make this image bigger. web design. And my text box. Of each one of these, I want to align them. Selection, space them out. And then I'm going to make some white space in that footer. Right there. Oops, not that much. Come on. Like that. So there is my cell phone view. My tablet or large cell phone, small tablet, large cell phone. Normal tablets to mini desktops. Now, as you can see, I've got a bit of an issue. You can't see it on this page. Let's see if it's hidden somewhere. Nope, this page is fine. There. 719. I need to click on this widget. Hide and breakpoint. 959. Hide and breakpoint. My desktop. Hide and breakpoint. Okay, so that is my home page. So now I'm going to close that home page. We need to go back to my master page, and I need to fix that privacy policy at the bottom. That is actually the center between my icons. We'll do the same thing here. There we go. You set the breakpoints, well, they're standard sizes for tablets and cell phones. Standard sizes for tablets are between 960. Wait a second. See, now I can't remember where we're going. Your standard tablet size is between 960 and 720. Those are your large to medium sized tablets. Your smaller tablets are between 760 and, or 720 and 460. Those are going to be your smaller tablets, like the Amazon Kindles, their Fire, that sort of thing. The smaller size, the iPad Mini, they're going to fall in that size. And then your cell phone, smallest cell phone capable of internet browsing available right now has a 320 screen size. The largest cell phone that is actually considered a cell phone and not a mini tablet is about 460 pixels. So that's why I set the next breakpoint at 459 to 320. That will hit that screen size. And then you have the 719 screen size. And then you have the 959 screen size. And then my desktop size is just 1280. Yours is somewhere around 1000 to 1024 pixels. Does that make sense? No, technically, I mean, you can Google responsive website sizes, but there is no set group of rules or principles because cell phones and tablets and computers evolve all the time, which means those sizes change. There is a way, let's go into my Google here. If you ever need to figure out what the latest sizes are, if you have Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, you can go into that web browser and you can go up to the right-hand corner. Both of them have the little dot menu. And in Mozilla, their developer button is right here. In Chrome, you have to go to More Tools, and then you have to click on Developer Tools. Once you click on Developer Tools, it opens up to a responsive screen. There's all kinds of developer information. What you're going to be looking for is the responsiveness, which is right up here. And it will tell you, if you click the drop down, it will give you standard sizes. And click on, there's your 360 to 640. Right now, Google Chrome and Firefox aren't even recognizing the 320 because there are not very many phones left. But I still keep it because there are some phones left that have that. And then you can just go down and see the common sizes. These are the most popular phones in the market. And you want to make sure you hit those. Oh, the 320 is still there on the iPhone 5. And this is where you can kind of get an idea of what your screen sizes need to be. Okay, so we fixed my master page and we've done my home page. We're going to check the responsiveness of that home page. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to Preview Page in Browser. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to simply take my browser. Let's move this share over here. I'm going to take my browser and I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to watch what happens to the stuff on my screen. Oh, and it switches. There's the beginning of my cell phone size right there. Everything looks good. If I click my drop down, tool menu works. And if I scale it, everything's working the way it's supposed to. So that does it for my home page. Back to Muse. So I'm done with that one. Now I have to do my portfolio page. Go up to that little white triangle. Let's see if I can get it to, nope. The first one is always the trickiest. I don't know why it doesn't want to work the way it's supposed to. It's always the hardest one to click and try and get it to copy. So I'm just going to bring my slider bar out here. A plus sign. Change that to 959 and change my minimum width to 760. And definitely going to have to rearrange this page some. We're going to go to view, oops, view, fit page and window, and do some rearranging. Let's take this. Not there. There. Move this over. Add that. That. There we go. So I rearranged my design so it would all fit on this page at that size. So now I'm going to go over to my next little white arrow, double click it. And this should be 759 to 420. And once again, I need to do some rearranging. Go here. That will go there. And that one will go there. And I'm going to shorten this page just a little bit. So there's that one. I'm going to double click on that white arrow and that one copied perfectly. Well, no, it didn't. And this should say 320. Now we're running into a pretty big problem. So now I'm going to have to rearrange a lot of this. I'm going to start moving stuff out of the way. I'm going to make this one bigger. This one over. This one over there. No. I have to make this one a little bit smaller too. And there's this one. And this one. I need to find a place for this one. I'll put it in the center here. Maybe pull this one down a little bit. There we go. And then my hat. There we go. Well, there's my cell phone view. So there's my portfolio page. I'm going to go to File, Preview Page in Browser. Yep, you can take pictures away if you need to. You just right-click on them and hide and breakpoint. That's my cell phone size. So we see we have a bit of a problem. My logos are sticking off my page, even though, oh, you guys can't see that yet. We haven't switched. Come on, Chrome. There we go. We have a bit of a problem. My logos are sticking off the page. So I can do one of two things, just like what you just said. I can either hide the trouble logos, the ones that are giving me issues, by simply clicking on them, right-click, and hide and breakpoint. Or I could rearrange everything and try to make it work better. I really don't want to get rid of my content since I don't have a lot of it. So I'm going to attempt to see if I can rearrange and get it to fit on here. We're almost there. 320 is actually about this size. That's the smallest, 320. 460 is right there. So even if I drag this over, let's see, we're going to manage it at 320. That's not even quite. It's picking up just like this. It's because this is an instant zoom widget. And resizing them and responsiveness is difficult, to say the least. So I'm going to just simply play with this slideshow. I know that this needs to come down. This needs to be aligned by itself. That needs to be aligned by itself. This needs to be aligned by itself. So what I might do is simply start putting everything on an individual line. This needs to come down. This needs to come down. So now I'm going to select all of these. Align. Content area. Center. Selection. Space everything out. Now let's see what we look like. Preview page in browser. I'm overlapping. Hold on, let's fix that. Looks like I'm still overlapping, yep. So I need to bring my hat down some more. Select all of these things again. Center. Content area. Enter. There we go. File. Preview page in browser. Now it looks like from my browser view, I'm a little off on a few of these. These look fine. Mike's logo was bigger. I think the problem is I scaled them and shouldn't have. So I need to pull him over a little bit. My business cards are the wrong direction. This one needs to go over. File. Preview page in browser. That's better. Okay, so now the view before, the last view, you can see there were some things that are a little off. My invitations, my hat is good, my invitation was off. My logo, both my logos were off. So I did some corrections, kind of adjusting those, just visually adjusting them. Looks like my invitation still needs to come over some more. Those business cards came over a little too far. File. That looks better. Now my logo is a little too far, but we're almost there. File. Preview page in browser. So some of it, guys, and that's why I say preview it in your browser, so you can actually check it out. Now that's closer. Invitations look okay. My Mike's Firework logo is still giving me some issue. File. That's better. So that will be my cell phone size. And it goes all the way back to desktop. So now back to Muse. Close my portfolio page. And just going to keep repeating this from page to page. Nine, five, nine. Oops, 959. Let's see. My Facebook needs to come over a little bit. Everything else looks fine. So my next arrow. It doesn't get really any smaller. Let's see if I can do show mobile. I'm going to bump that over just a little, realign my picture. And this time I'm going to make my graphic to expand across the bottom of my page. There's that one. Breakpoint properties, 459 to 320. Now I need to do some rearranging. I'm going to hide my image. I don't want it on the cell phone version. Stretch my paragraph across the page. My heading. And then I'm going to do my Facebook comments right underneath it. And my graphic below that. And so there's my cell phone view for my About page. I'm going to test it in my browser. And there's cell phone size. That works pretty good. Menu works. So back to Muse. There's the About page. And then my contact page. And then 9 to 760. And I'm going to definitely have to do some rearranging on this page. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab my map. No, back here. And I'm going to pull my map down to the bottom. Rearrange my contact form in the center. There we go. And then my next size. And just kind of do some rearranging there. That looks good. And then my next one. Oops. And now I'm going to have to scale my contact form to bring it down. Bring this down. Those down. That looks good. And I need to do some rearranging here. Do talk and chat. My phone number. It's almost squished here. Let's write this down here. File. Preview page in browser. We have a bit of an issue. We're going to have to work on that contact form and my Skype buttons. So back to Muse. I'm going to align my Skype buttons over there. Pull my phone number up. Stretch it across here so I make sure there's plenty of room. Now, for some reason, my box is a little too big. Let's squinch those down some more. And that one. File. Preview page in browser. And my contact form is still picking up on the far left-hand edge. I want to line it to the left there. Preview page in the browser. Right now, in my view, I look smaller than 320. Well, it's maybe somewhere right in there. I'm going to grab my phone number. I'm going to make the text smaller. I'll bring it down to 18 points. Oops. Preview page in browser. That's better. For somehow or another, my desktop view is messed up though. Let's go backwards and see what I've done. Uh-oh, I'm missing something. What is that? Oops, I did this one incorrectly. It should be like this. That was the problem. I didn't quite do that right. Okay, let's try this again. Pull that over. Pull this down. This down. These down. Text. 18 point. Good. Pencil. Yes. There we go. Okay, file. Preview page in browser. And scale it down. There's my cell phone. That looks pretty good. So if I go here, and I go to more tools, and I go to developer tools. There we go, that's better. Now you will notice in some of these developer tools, this is not the greatest way to view your stuff, guys. It isn't always accurate. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it is not accurate, as you can see. My 768 should fall to my 760 screen size. It's not. And that's just Chrome's developer. I rarely check my responsiveness in this window. I always scale my browser because then you get an accurate reading. And I know when that gray icon pops up that I've reached my cell phone size. And so I can look at it and say, yep, that looks good. And then I can go back out and kind of judge where my small tablet, somewhere right in there. And then my larger tablet is still double. So it's going to be somewhere right in there. And then, of course, my desktop is going to be about right there. So my large tablet is somewhere right in here. Let's see, large tablet, 915, no, large tablet, everything is stacked. So right there is my large tablet. There is my large tablet. And then my small tablet is about right there. And then cell phone is right there. Actually right there. So I just scale my browser back and forth to check my responsiveness to make sure things are working the way they're supposed to. The developer tools, the ones in Firefox are much better than the ones in Chrome. But Firefox doesn't always render it completely accurate, but it does do a much better job than Chrome. I just don't have Firefox on this computer at the moment. So then file, let's go back to Muse. I have one page left. Close my contact page, and that's going to be the privacy policy page. It's going to be super easy. 959, oops, 959, oops, cancel. Every point. 9. Chapter 60. Everything's still perfectly fine there. Five, 9, 20. Everything's still perfectly fine there. Oops. Oh, I did that wrong. There we go. Now here, I need some small adjustments. This is a little out of place. Get my graphic up. And center it. That looks better. There we go. So file, preview page in browser. That works, except for my cell phone size, my page is really long. That must mean in my master view. Nope, it's showing small there. Let's get a little smaller. Go there, file, preview page in browser. Oh, that's better. They brought my footer up. Cell phone view. So that does it for my responsiveness. Any questions on making these breakpoints? If you have stuff that doesn't look good in a certain breakpoint, change it. Looks like I have my responsiveness here. Not correct. There we go. If there is an image on your page that's just not working in the responsive view, when you get down to cell phone size, hide it. It's completely up to you on what you show from cell phone to desktop. Now, just a word of advice, show as much as you can. More content, the better. But there may be some things that just don't look right when you're on cell phone size. Hide it. You want the page to look good. So it's not just about content. You want it to visually look good. So if something doesn't look good or you can't get it to work right, then hide it in that view so the page looks good. Does that make sense? So basically, guys, this part is kind of methodical. You've got to go from page to page and do your descriptions, your titles, your alt text. And then you're going to go from page to page and create your breakpoints and the new layouts for each screen size. This is kind of the methodical portion of it. Make sure you get each page, and at the end, make sure you test the entire site in your responsive width. If it works in cell phone, it's going to work in tablet, and you're going to see that while scaling your screen down. And then make sure the website is still working, and you can click on your navigation buttons, things like that. Especially if you make the responsive menu bar like I did. Make sure you test that menu bar and make sure it's working. So, any questions? Then guys, we will call it a night, and tomorrow we will go over exporting your files and uploading to Business Catalyst. The hamburger thing, do you want me to go through that again?
I guess this would be better if I talk about it. I don't know if I downloaded it or not. To use it, you get it the same way we got the instant Zoom, right?
And well, the hamburger icon, you can get it basically in the same place you got the news, but it's not the exact same place. Let me go back and if you Google free use widgets, you're going to go to the, let's find the right website. I want the official Adobe Muse website. MuseWidgets.com. That's the official Adobe hosted Muse Widgets website. If you go to this page and you scroll down, I think it's on page 2 now. Page 3. Button shapes, preloader. I must have passed it. There it is. Right there, second page. Your animated hamburger widget. Click on it. Do get this widget. And then you have to bring it into Muse. So once you've downloaded it,
You get the email and all that, right? Does this come with by email as well?
you click right here underneath the image where it says download and install, and then click download now. And it's going to say get download link. Please provide an email address. It's going to email you the link. So you have to put your email address in here and then do get download link. The email is almost instant.
Yeah.
And so you click it, it's going to download into your download folder, right? And then you're going to go back into Muse. You're going to open up one of your pages. Doesn't matter what page. You're going to open up one of your pages, and you're going to go to Windows, and you're going to click on Library. And then at the very bottom of this box, it won't let me point on it. At the very bottom of your libraries box right here, there's a little book icon next to the question mark. If you hover over it, it says Import Muse Library. You're going to click on it. You're going to go to your downloads folder, and you're going to find that file that you downloaded. See, I thought I had one in here. I don't have one in here right now. You're going to find that file you downloaded, and you're going to click on it, and you're going to choose Open. And then it's going to take a minute, and you're suddenly going to have a folder appear in this box. I've moved all of my stuff around, but your folder will probably be named Creativated or something like that. And if you click the drop down for that folder, you're going to see the animated hamburger widget.
Now, we need to set that on everything but our desktop, correct?
Well, I only used my responsive hamburger widget on my cell phone view.
Okay.
When it got to cell phone view is when I made it responsive.
Okay.
So my other screen views just have my regular navigation. It's only my smallest screen view that has the responsive navigation in it.
And then you just add that to the actual hyperlinks themselves, right?
Yes, what I did was I went into, after I downloaded it into my library, I went up and clicked on Widgets Library. And I opened the composition box. And I grabbed a blank composition. And I dragged it out onto my screen. I resized it to the size I wanted it to be. I deleted all of the little thumbnails except for one. I clicked on it and selected it. Right click, clear all styling, but keep it selected. And then went back to my libraries where my animated hamburger is and grabbed it and pulled it out and put it right inside that thumbnail.
Okay.
And then you can change the color in this box and the size. I changed my size here to, I think, 30 something. And here I turned it down to and made it a little bit smaller. Scaled it, made it fit. And then I grabbed my composition, the big box, finished sizing it down the way I wanted it, right-clicked, cleared all styling again, and then went over to my widgets library again and went to my menus. And this time I grabbed a vertical menu and I placed it right inside that big box. And then I scaled it down so it would fit correctly the way I wanted it to. Oops. Back here. Let's move that over so I can get to it. And made this smaller so it would fit where I wanted it to fit. Just right over the top of that, right next to it. Scaled this box down. And placed it where I wanted it. Grabbed my thumbnail and placed it where it needed to go. That creates the responsive menu bar. Once that's all done, you have to make sure you click on that blue circle and make sure hide all initially is clicked, and then hide target on click and show target on click are in those boxes. You want everything hidden at first so that when they first get on the screen in their cell phone, all they see is a hamburger widget until they click it. And then it gives them the drop-down menu.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, now that would need to be done on the master page, correct?
Yes. You would just technically you would do that on the master page.
Okay. And
like I did
then
the first time. You create it on your master page, that way it's in there. Now, once you've created it, you're gonna have to go back through all of your views. And because it's once you've created in your smallest size view, it's also going to show up in your other views. So you have to go back to each view and right click on top of it and do hide and breakpoint. And then go to the next one, hide and breakpoint.
okay.
And so on. And so that it only shows up in your smallest screen size.
So is this this is probably where I got confused of watching everything. If you do it to one, it does it to all of them, correct?
Yes. And so you had to hide it in the ones you don't want it in. Like if at this smallest size, if I were to draw something in here, if I place something on the artboard or draw something in here, and I go back to the bigger, it's there. So I have to hide it. In every single view, except for the one I want it to show up in.
So then we don't have to get rid of this the menu bar on the smallest size. We just have to hide it.
You just have to hide it. Yes. You don't delete it. You just right click on it and hide it in that view.
Okay, so then I don't have to worry about deleting the okay. It makes sense.
And you can rewatch the demo where I did this on my master page and follow along with what I did.
Okay.
That is how you create that responsive hamburger icon that's so popular right now. Muse makes it pretty simple to create that icon. When you're doing that hamburger widget in HTML, it requires some JavaScript. Thankfully, Muse writes all of that stuff for you.
Okay.
So if you were to, let's see, let's open one of my pages so I can show you guys exactly what Muse is doing for you. Here's site and browser. This is my home page. I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose inspect. This is going to show us all the code that Muse is doing for you. Here's your head content, which has your descriptions, all of the JavaScript needed, all of the style sheets that are linked to your file. And then you've got internal styles that have been done. And then, of course, it writes all of your body stuff. If I expand all of this, there's a lot of code here that Muse is writing for you guys that you're not having to write.
Yeah.
That is a lot of stuff. And it just goes on and on and on. And that is not all the external files that are also attached to this file. You've got 3 style sheets controlling these files, which have multiple sets of code in them. You've got JavaScript. There's a JavaScript file attached. So Muse is writing so much stuff that you guys are not having to write. When I actually do a manual website and I use something like Dreamweaver or Sublime, I get to type all this stuff. So Muse has basically, what Adobe has done is Adobe has given print designers a way to also be web designers without having to learn the HTML and the CSS and all that stuff.
So here's a really weird question.
Okay.
So can you use this to write your own code? Like, if there's something that would be easier for you to say, write the code, than to design it with Muse, does Muse give you the ability to write the code as well?
Limited. Let's go back to Muse. You can't write a whole web page in Muse.
Right.
Now, if you needed to add something that you couldn't do on the screen, but you needed to add the HTML for it, if you have that page open, go back to my desktop view. You can go up to, what's it under, page? No, it's under object. And you can go to insert HTML. Oh, wow. And it will allow you to insert some code there. But it's very limited.
Right.
But yes, it will allow you to insert code there. So let's say that you were doing an e-commerce website. I would never try and take on a project of creating an extensive e-commerce site in Muse because it's a little difficult. But let's say that my picture is a buy button or something like that, and I need to insert the shopping cart code for that button. I would click on that image and go to Object and go to Insert HTML and insert the shopping cart code right there to make that button work. Does that make sense? That's the kind of things you can do with the Insert HTML code.
Okay.
A lot of the shopping carts now are the more popular ones, like Shopify, BigCommerce, have come up with Muse widgets that you can download from their shopping cart websites that will allow you just to use a widget to drag and drop for buy now buttons and things like that. But not all shopping carts are included, but there are some that you can download from that shopping cart's website, and it's nothing more than a Muse widget, and you can use it that way.
Okay, and then the other question I had was your survey button. That's in the widgets too, right?
Say that again.
Your little survey that you had when you with your contact information, where you say how you heard about me. That's in the widgets too, right?
You mean on my contact page?
Yeah.
I added that to my form. If you want to add something to your form, you choose it. Click the little circle. And it will give you options. You can, there's standard fields, cell phone number, home address, all of that good stuff. But you can also add custom fields. I added radio group button is what I added. No, I added a checkbox. That's what I use. So if you hit the plus sign next to checkbox, it'll automatically add a checkbox. Or next to radio button, it'll add a radio button.
So then you just typed what you needed to and just added the buttons.
Yes.
Now, does that automatically put together like some sort of like, well, 20 people clicked web search and you'll know it's 20 people, or is that something that just attaches when they send the email?
This is just email wise. It's not survey wise.
Okay.
Now, if you're wanting to create something like that, like a survey type thing, you can use, there is a free download widget it's called Jot Forms. And Jot Forms is a form creation, and it will do things kind of like surveys. Let's see, let's go over to my Chrome here. Jot. It's a free sign up, and they have templates that you can use, or you can create your own type of form. It's a way to get more extensive, but what you're wanting is to like count website views, right? That's what I'm guessing.
I would say so, yeah.
You want to be able to see how many people are checking out your website?
Yeah.
Then you want to go back into the Creative, the Adobe Muse widget website. And there is, I think it's on the first page now.
Hit counter.
Yeah, the hit counter. And you could embed that in your footer. On your master page, that way it would count every page somebody clicks on. Or you could do it on an individual page.
So if you put that on the footer, so
yes.
Every time somebody would go to a different page, it'll count it?
Yes. If you put it on the master page, it's going to count every single page that person clicks on.
Okay.
If you put it on each individual page, it'll only count that page. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But okay. There is all kinds of stuff in here for just that, your analytics. You've got the Google Analytics widget you can use. There is even a, where are you? There's the Shopify. Oh, there was the Facebook SEO widget you can use.
Yeah, that was on the previous page. I saw that.
Yeah. There's the Facebook SEO widget. There's one for Twitter. There is also, where are you? There's another Google Analytics. But there is an SEO widget in here.
I think I saw it. It was black and red. It said SEO Advanced.
Yeah, something like that. It's here somewhere. I'm sure I've passed it. It works okay.
Yeah, right
there it is. Advanced SEO. And then you've got the Advanced SEO book. And they're targeted more for company website versus personal websites.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, show me the page. Preview the widget. It gives you the table of contents, how to use it, that sort of thing. If you're going to use it, make sure you read about it. I've never used this one. I have an older version of this one, I think is what it is. But it's limited you still want to make sure you use your keywords. In no way is this supposed to replace the keywords and descriptions you're putting into Muse. This is kind of just an add-on.
Okay.
But there are all sorts of things like that all over the Muse website, and all kinds of free widgets you can download for things like that.
So then, long story short, the things you have underneath your contact page just goes when they email you to say how they've heard about you?
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, I'm keeping track of what part of my advertising is working. Because I do things like send out postcards. The post office has this thing called Every Door Direct Mail. And it's where you can send a large postcard at 15 cents each.
Okay.
And you have to send them to certain carrier routes, like full carrier routes. So that means you may be sending them to 100 people. But I like to know if an advertisement is working. So if they've contacted me through my website and they've checked advertisement, I know that, okay, that's work, that's paying off. And I change these occasionally because sometimes I will advertise in a newspaper. And so I'll put newspaper advertisement. Or sometimes we have a county magazine. And sometimes I'll advertise in the county magazine. And so I would put, I'll change it and put magazine ad. So I want to know, are they finding me online? Are they finding me through something I've advertised in? Or did they hear about me from word of mouth? It's good to kind of keep track of that because you know what's working and what's not working. Make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions?
None that I can think of right now.
Okay, guys, then we'll call it an evening, and tomorrow we will work on publishing and exporting your files and getting everything to Business Catalyst.
All right.
All right, guys, I'll see you later.
Have a good evening.
You too.